Okay, good evening and welcome to the Revere School Committee of the whole meeting. Today is May 18th, 2021, and it is currently 5:25. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Bronston Rizzo,
Here?
Mr. D'Ambrosio,
Here.
Mr. Ferranti,
Here.
Ms. Gravellisi,
Here.
Mr. Sinella,
Here.
Ms. Ty, here, Mayor Rigo.
So seeing that we have a quorum, just for a little clarification, we are trying a hybrid model with our school committee meeting. And we're just making sure we had some audio and visual, enough audio and visual to do this meeting to meet any COVID precautions. I will say that Fred Sinella, Susan Gravellisi, Dr. Kelly, Michael Ferranti, and I are in the school committee room, and Anthony D'Ambrosio and Carol Ty are joining us through Zoom. So with that being said, we're going to start with agenda item number 1, the consent calendar and approval of minutes.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second.
Okay, anyone have any questions on the warrants? Mr. Ferranti?
My first question is on page 1. It says Power School Group Online Recruitment Services. Quick explanation for that, please.
That is the online program where we advertise jobs and then we enroll students.
My next question is, number 26 and 27, our unemployment bills almost 100,000. Is any of that covered with COVID? Number 26 and 27 is unemployment. It's roughly 100,000. Is any of that covered with our COVID? Or is it all out of the school department's pockets?
The questions about those last two unemployments that have come through. So I think those might be the very first two that we're actually covering from the appropriated account once the reclassifications are done. As far as the initial CVR grant that had money in it for the unemployment. So yes, and it's odd that it would be May and those would be the first monthly payments that we're covering from appropriated dollars.
Matt, are we gonna have a deficit in that account this year?
It doesn't look like it, but I can't tell what that final June payment will be, so it'll be close.
And on page 9, number 317, which school was the hub glass service for? It says front door glass repair and install. Any idea? 317 on page 9. Hub glass services, front door glass repair and install. I just want to know what school that was.
And I don't know offhand, Michael, Matt, do you know?
If anything's been said in the last 45 seconds, we haven't heard it on Zoom.
Okay. I feel like I might have inadvertently muted you, Paul, if you can. Okay. Can you hear us now, Matt? They can't hear us. I know. Which I think is Matt Cruz. He's been notified. Can you hear us? Anybody?
Yep,
Yes,
that I heard.
okay. Matt, the question was about hub glass services to replace the front door of at a school on
Okay,
line
yep.
317. Do you know which school that was?
What was the number?
317.
The origination number was 340908.
Yep. No, we have an open purchase order for Hub to come do glass replacement services or door replacement services. So I can pull the invoice that applies to and send it to the committee so they can see that. But we wouldn't know off of this report the specific facility.
Thank you, I'm all set.
Okay.
Thanks, Matt.
Carol Ty or Anthony D'Ambrosio, would you have any questions regarding the warrants?
I have none, thank you.
Okay,
Looks good to me as well.
okay. We will move on. I'd say financial reports, but we have none, and food service financials, none. So we are on the communications, and the first one is disposal of unused and outdated textbooks for all schools. Anthony, do you have that correspondence?
I am searching for it right now. It should be in the agenda packet, yeah?
Mhm.
Can you read me the title, the textbooks?
Disposal of unused and outdated textbooks.
Fantastic. So, dear Revere School Committee members, please grant permission to all school building principals/directors to dispose of unused and outdated textbooks that no longer align with the Common Core, as well as take up valuable storage space that is feeded from new materials. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, Dr. Diane Kelly.
Anyone have any questions on that? Mr.
Secretary.
Sinella?
Through you, the superintendent. Diane, can these books be used in other systems, or?
We have done our exploration, as I know the committee likes for us to do, to see if there's any place that we can donate them, or anybody who would want to purchase the books from us, or even if we could give them away for free. So the principals have done that. There are a couple more places that they want to check on. If we can find a place to donate, we will. But otherwise, we'll just have a book refuse company come and get them.
Well, will we have to amend this to say, to distribute and/or destroy?
Sure.
I mean, because
Yeah.
if we approve to,
Yeah, maybe to donate or dispose of. That would be great.
so move.
So moved. And Mr. D'Ambrosio, the 2021 special ed determination.
I don't know if you want to waive the reading of this lengthy document, but I can just explain. Okay. So that was a motion by Mr. Sinella to waive the reading and a second by, my head's playing, Mrs. Gravellisi, sorry. My head is not in, yes. But what this is really is it's a wonderful notification from the Department of Education that our special ed services are on target and meet all state and federal guidelines. And so they have found no reasons to give us any technical assistance or intervention at this time. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Excellent news, always good to know. The next one, enrollment update, we don't have any, and personal items. Anyone have any questions on the new hires or the retirements? I'm always sad to see the retirement list, but I think I'm more jealous.
Yeah.
Anyone have questions on that? Mr. Ferranti?
Thank you, Ms. Rizzo. Diane, the retirement of June Prinsky-Ruder, is that unexpected, or did you know she was going to retire?
I don't know that any of them that we really know really in advance, but
Okay.
she did notify us last week that she was going to retire at the end of the school year, so I think I'd echo Stacy and say there's a little bit of jealousy when I read the letters, but we certainly wish everybody well in their future endeavors.
Thank you.
Okay, and we have an acceptance of donations with the late communication on the Career Readiness Project. Mr. D'Ambrosio?
Yes, that wouldn't be in the agenda because it's a late communication, correct?
I'm not sure actually if that made it into the packets or not.
I'm just going by the agenda for the committee. But
Sure.
you know
Let
what?
me pull
We
it up.
can table that to our next meeting, regular school meeting at 6 o'clock. Motion to table?
Are we voting on these motions?
We're just tabling
We
now.
just did, first and second. First was Susan Gravellisi, second by Fred Sinella.
If you wanted to, I could explain it. I don't know.
Well, we're gonna explain it for the
At the
next
next one,
two.
okay. So I
okay.
believe you need a roll call to table a motion.
Yes,
Is that right?
because we're still hybrid. So roll call, Ms. McCarver?
Mrs. Bronson Rizzo,
Yes?
Mr. D'Ambrosio,
Yes.
Mr. Ferranti,
Yes?
Ms. Gravellisi,
Yes.
Mr. Sinella,
Yes.
Ms. Ty,
Yes.
Mayor Arrigo.
Okay, before we leave the consent calendar, I just had one question I completely forgot about, and it's not, I'm not questioning the warrant. Just out of curiosity, the gateway to college, I'm just wondering if you know offhand, participate this year.
At North Shore, we have, I believe it's 5, it might be 6. Danielle, do you know if the address is slot? I believe we had a group from Eco to looking for a position that we paid for that this year. I don't know if she has that right in the top of her head either, but it's at least 5, it might be 6.
Okay, it's just such a great program, it really does get kids a second chance.
It is a phenomenal program, and we've had a lot of success with it. Almost all, and I, Mrs. Finn, who's the director of guidance, will be on the 6 o'clock meeting, and she might have some more specific information as well. But the kids that we have sent to that program have been very successful. And there have been a couple who didn't matriculate out and get their diplomas, but the vast majority have. And we've had either 5 or 6 kids in that program that we get the last 4.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, so we finished our calendar, so we can go on the floor to accept it. Number 2 item, discussion on the 2021-2022 calendar. Anyone have any questions? Mr. Ferranti?
Thanks, Ms. Rizzo. Dr. Kelly, was there any consideration made that we would, instead of having snow days, go remote those days only?
We are hoping that that is something that the state will permit us to do next year. If that's the case, our intention will be to have remote school days the way that we did this year. We learned a lot. Despite all the challenges from COVID, there are some good things that we learned. And one of them is that we can have classes when teachers are in one place and kids are in another place. But we will need the state to grant permission for us to do that. Before COVID happened, several years before COVID happened, they had done a pilot with a few districts, and we did Losers Day. Remember that?
Right, yes.
And just before COVID hit, the Department of Education, the Board of Education took a vote to eliminate the option to have Losers Day. They didn't find it to be particularly helpful to kids, I guess. So I don't know where the commissioner is or where the Board of Education is in terms of allowing that. I do think that we learned a lot more about remote learning in the last year, and perhaps that can inform what remote learning might look like in such a situation next year. So I guess the simple answer is I don't know yet. If the state allows it, we'll certainly participate in it.
Are they aware of it, that is a possibility, or do you have to bring it to their attention to go to the next step with it?
They're aware. Superintendents have already asked the commissioner about this, and he has not committed to any particular stance
All right.
on it.
So it's up to the state?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Sinella?
Superintendent, are you doing any of the schools for elections?
Yes, we're using most of them. Garfield, Lincoln, the high school, Beachmont. I'd have to look at it. Diane Colella did send us a list of the sites that she wanted to use, and we approved them all as we...
When I spoke to them, she mentioned that they were using St. Lincoln, that's I was surprised.
For the last election they did, Fred, I don't know if they moved it at all. Maybe they did.
Because I know we've got the days built in
Yeah.
for workshops, which, you know, I was just curious, because when I spoke to her, it didn't seem like, other than the Garfield. All right, no, that's, I mean, it's, because it is municipal elections this
Yeah.
year. Thank you.
Any requests you made of us, we'll work with the election department on. We recognize the importance of it.
Mr. D'Ambrosio and Ms. Ty, do you have anything that you want to ask about regarding that?
I cannot hear what you just said. I apologize, you came through very garbled.
That might help. Is
Yeah.
there any questions that Mr. D'Ambrosio or Ms. Ty want to bring up at this time?
No, I have no questions at all on the calendar. It seems to be what is in line with what we have been doing all along. And I have some reservations about snow days being remote days, because we don't know whether new kids in the school would have proper broadband coverage at home. We don't know what the situation will be next year. And I think that will take a lot of investigation before we make any decisions on that. But I should think it was worthy to look at.
Well, we'll see what's going to happen. So the next one is outstanding balances on students' accounts, and we received a communication through Dr. Perella regarding that. Is there anyone that has a question on any of these items?
And if I could just add, we find ourselves in a similar position this year as we did last year, when the committee generously agreed to waive the fees for senior students. We still have a number of kids and families that are in financial dire straits. And so the request from Dr. Perella and Dr. Rockwood, who oversees the senior class, is that we do the same for the class of 2021 as the committee did for the class of 2020.
Dr. Kelly, I just have a question, like the ID fees. They have not been in school for a year, so I'm not really sure what that would pertain to.
So remember that these are for the senior class. So those are kids who could have been carrying those fees since they were freshmen, sophomores. It's throughout their high school career that these costs have accumulated as they have. And I can tell you that Dr. Rockwood, I spoke to her through Dr. Perella the other day, has done yeoman's work in trying to recover as much as she could. And they were able to work with families to get back as many fees as they could. You can see the vast majority of these charges between the ID fees, and the larger one is the credit recovery. And that's for kids to make up courses where they did not earn credit the first time they took it.
Can I just ask what junior ROTC fees would pertain to?
Sure. So those are fees that the JROTC students have. Some of them may not have sold the candy that they took to sell for a fundraiser. Some of them might have got a T-shirt but didn't pay for it, or a sweatshirt and didn't pay for it. And there are also fees that they pay for their ball, the military ball that they have, which they're required to attend as part of a military exercise, and some of them might not have paid fees for that.
Mr. Sinella?
On the fees, Rotc, I thought that the government was responsible for that stuff. Uniforms and stuff, you know, shirts or whatever.
The government does pay for their uniforms, and if they don't return them, then the government takes that as a loss. But these would be for, you know, their T-shirt. Like if you look at the picture that happens to be on the wall over here of the JROTC kids, that sweatshirt those kids are wearing is not part of their uniform.
Oh, okay.
They sometimes buy an extra sweatshirt, and occasionally there's been a student who said they wanted one and took one and didn't come
So
through.
I guess the one question is that they've been allowed to participate, even though there's an outstanding balance, and we'll waive the balance and all is forgiven. But they did participate.
They did. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions regarding that? With that being said, what's the will of the committee? So moved by Mr. Snell, second?
Don't forget your microphone. Motion to waive the outstanding fees for the graduating students.
Second.
First by Ms. Grevalisi, second by Mr. Ferranti. Roll call?
Mrs. Bronston Rizzo,
Yes?
Mr. D'Ambrosio,
Yes.
Mr. Ferranti,
Yes.
Ms. Gravelisi,
Yes.
Mr. Sinella,
Yes.
Ms. Ty,
Yes.
and Mayor Arrigo.
Okay, the last item on our agenda is just any miscellaneous items that may. Number 4 on the agenda is any miscellaneous items or meeting agenda questions that we might have for Dr. Kelly at this point. Does anyone have any? Seeing none, I do have a question or a request. If we could possibly book a committee of the whole meeting so that we could be apprised of whatever summer remedial or enrichment programs might be going on, and also, oh my good, any of the COVID or ESSA grant money that might be going to student programs, if we could be updated on that. So if we could just have a small, fast meeting, committee of the whole, just to update us all, because I know I've had some parents ask about a couple of things about the summer enrichment, and I just want to be sure before I say something.
And it didn't make it on this agenda, but Dr. Galucci is actually going to give an update on that tonight. He's got some information to share around dates and locations of different summer programs, but we can definitely have a more extensive meeting to talk more about it.
Thank you. Okay, at this point, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
First by Mr. Sinella, second by Mr. Ferranti. So the committee of the whole meeting is adjourning at 5:47, and we will be back for our regular school committee meeting at 6 p.m. Thank you.
Yep, Mrs. Bronston Rizzo,
Yes.
Mr. D'Ambrosio,
Yes.
Mr. Ferranti,
Yes.
Ms. Gravelisi,
Yes.
Mr. Sinella,
Yes.
Ms. Ty,
Yes.
Mayor Arrigo.
So we'll see everyone back at 6 p.m. for our regular meeting. Thank you.